Hi, welcome. My name is Joe, and this is Hart.
Hello.
Hart. And welcome to the Calgary Herald Yoga video series. So it's just yoga, and we're just going to run through a few poses that show you how every pose builds on itself, and we can take the same shape in yoga and turn it around and around and around and around to experience different poses and different ways to balance and different ways to find your inner strength. And really that's what we're doing here. It's yoga practice gives us an opportunity to tap into all of this and figure out how things work and connect with the breath and stretch yourself and make yourself longer and taller. And as we move into spring, that's what's happening outside, so let your practice mimic what's happening in nature. So we're going to focus on a one-legged pose. We're going to start off with Supta Pada Gustasana, and Hart's going to lie on his back. He's going to place his feet right against the wall and lie down. Good. And we're going to use the wall to just ground the feet to kind of get the feeling of the foot pushing into the wall and the leg extending into the wall. Good. Just take a few breaths here. And then we're going to start by bringing the right knee into your chest. Good. And just hug it in and take a moment here again to reestablish the left leg. Yeah, so even though we're going to be lifting the right leg, we're really thinking about the one that's on the ground. And from here, Hart has a strap right beside him. He's just going to grab it. And the strap is just an arm extender. And you could use a tie, a scarf, a belt, whatever you have. You don't have a strap. He's going to extend his leg up to the ceiling. And now he's going to bring his elbows down to the floor. And he's going to imagine that he has a wall also underneath his right foot. And he's just going to press both feet equally into the support and breathe. Now, Hart has his leg, he's been doing yoga now for a little while, so his leg is nicely lifted, and if your leg doesn't come up this high, then no big deal, you just practice where you are. Good. Okay, so because this is a short video, we're going to kind of rush it along, but you would try and stay here for at least 10 nice full breaths, and that's about a minute. And let the shoulders soften, so we're not gripping anywhere. Good. Okay. And so then I would have Hart release the strap, bring the knee into his chest, and stretch the legs out. And you at home are going to push pause and do the second side. But right here, just take a moment to feel what's happened. And Hart, what's happened?
One leg feels much longer.
One leg is longer, it feels longer than the other. So and that was a really quick little stretch. Good. Okay, so you're going to do the other side at home, but we're just going to move it along. So from here, Hart's going to bend his knees one at a time. He's going to roll to his right side and press himself up to hands and knees. Okay, the next pose we're going to do is a variation of downward facing dog. So Hart is going to walk his feet back close to the wall. Yes, and then you can see his arms are a little bit forward of his shoulders. He's going to spread his fingers and really plant your hands down. He's going to take a nice inhale here, and as he exhales, he's going to lift his knees up off the floor and press back. And he's going to walk his toes forward, and the heels are going to stay into the wall. Now, if this feels too narrow for you, you're just going to make it longer. You walk your hands forward. You can even bend your knees and just push your heels into the wall. Good, so we're going to take this to a three-legged dog. So from here, Hart's going to walk his big toes to touch. So we're right at the midline. He's going to lift, we're just going to stay with the right leg for this video. He's going to lift his right leg up and tuck the toes under to the wall. And then he's going to use that wall to extend his leg, press his heel up towards the ceiling. Good. Nice. Good. Okay, here's where you would push pause and do the second leg. Good, but we're just going to come down. Good. And then Hart's going to bring his knees down to the floor. Okay, so you can see how those two poses mimic each other with the one leg lifted. We're going to take it a little bit further into an arm balance. So Hart's going to walk his hands back. So now his shoulders are right over top of his wrists. He's going to spread his fingers. And then from here, he's going to tuck his, he's going to inhale, lift his knees up, and come back to a very narrow dog. And if this feels too narrow for you, again, just walk your hands forward. From here, he's going to bring his big toes to touch, so he's right at the midline. He's going to lift his right leg up, and he's going to take his foot about hip height. And then he's going to press into the wall, straighten the leg, and bring his left foot up. And so this is a version of arm balance. It's a version of handstand. And if this feels like it's too much for you, you might surprise yourself, though. You should totally give it a try. But what happens from here, we're going to do that exact same pose. He's going to lift his right leg up towards the sky. And even though this looks really nice and impressive, it's sometimes easier to lift that one leg up. Good. Okay, great. Heart, you're going to just bring your right hip forward and point your toes to the back. Nice job. Good. Okay, again, you're going to do both legs. So from here, we'll bring the foot back to the wall or all the way down. Good. And then come down. And because he's been upside down, we're just going to take a few moments to rest in child's pose. So the knees come wide apart, big toes touch, and extend his arms and let his forehead rest on the floor. If your forehead doesn't quite touch the floor, you can just make a little pillow with your hands and just cushion it. So we take a few breaths here and just let everything come back. When we're upside down and the head is below the heart, we need to take some time to just let everything normalize. Great. Okay, so to come out of this, Heart's going to walk his hands back to his knees, and he's going to inhale and press himself up. Good. Okay, from here we're going to come right up to standing. So we've taken that simple but not easy posture we started with, and we've already done it now in 3 different planes. So now we're going to take it to standing. So Heart's going to take his strap, and he's going to be about an arm's length away from the wall. And that's just helpful so the wall is there. If the balance is off, then we just take the balance out of it and you just use the wall. So we're going to start with the left leg, just because that's the one outside. Okay, so he's going to put the strap around the sole of his foot, or the balls of the feet. He's going to put the strap into his left hand. And then you can even wind your hand in the strap a couple times, and he's going to extend his left leg forward. Good, yeah, and the balance is tricky. So you use the wall, you're going to squeeze your thighs together, and notice here how the left hip is hiking up. See if you can drop it down, and even bring your right shoulder forward. Yes, good. Okay, so you can stay here and balance. Heart's taking his hand off the wall and he's making it look easy. This is what comes with practice. It's certainly not an easy pose. So Hasta Padangusthasana. And from here, we're gonna move it into Warrior 3. So you can release the strap. Now, you can go straight into Warrior 3, but how do you want to do it? Oh, great. Yeah, he's just going to take his leg back. Now you can use the wall here again. He's going to extend through the heel. The toes are going to point down to the floor. And then he can bring his arms forward, or you can keep them there. Nice, easy breath. That is a very challenging pose. And so you're going to work on just keeping the core strong and squeezing the thighs together and practice, practice, practice. There we go. That's nice. Yeah, holding onto the wall and then see how it goes. Awesome. Okay, so that's the same pose, and we put it into 5 different variations and just turned it around and around and around. And how do you feel?
Great.
Good.
Gotta do the other side.
Yes, you have to do the other side at home. But right from here, we're just going to take it into a Shavasana. So Heart's going to come and lie down. This is probably the most important pose we do in yoga, and probably one of the most difficult. Lying and doing nothing. Because when we do nothing, that's when the brain starts to go and your mind starts to tell you all the other things you need to do. We're just going to work on letting that go and releasing. And if we think of Shavasana as your recovery pose after surgery, you go into the recovery room, and here we recover from our practice. We use this time for the body to absorb what it's learned and what's been opened and what's been released. So I'm just going to leave him there. I'm going to thank him for a lovely practice. And I'm going to thank you for watching. Namaste and happy yoga.